Okay, so let's just treat it as a normal webinar. Well, thank you for, one sec. Yeah, anyway, I'll do two webinars today. Okay, so let me just share my screen. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone, for coming and for registering. So let me just introduce myself. My name is Max. I'm a personal trainer and a nutritional coach. I help men and women to get in the best shape of their lives. And today I want to talk to you about how to do weight loss, how to do it right, and we'll be busting some of the die-hard myths and misconceptions about weight loss. Okay, so we start now with agenda. So we're going to talk about what is weight loss, common myths about weight loss, why dieting can make you even more fat, what is calorie deficit and how it fits in weight loss, how to diet the right way, why reverse diet is a thing, and how to stay lean year round, conclusion, and then you can get to questions. So before we start, I just want to set the ground rules. So please mute yourselves. Uh, if you have any questions, you can raise a hand. I'll be doing check-ins like every 10 minutes. And if I see raised hand, I'll be basically addressing the person. You can either write your question in the chat room, or you can unmute yourself and start asking the question. Okay, so basically, and at the end of this webinar, there's going to be questions, and I'm also going to be sending this webinar deck over to you after the actual webinar. Okay, let's go. So, what is weight loss? So it's basically a process of reducing body weight, typically by decreasing body fat, muscle mass, and water content. So basically, a reduction in everything. And then, Marcel, could you please mute yourself? Marcel. Okay, so types of weight loss. We have intentional weight loss, the one which we actually want to focus on today, because it usually has a structure, a process, and the end goal. Medically supervised weight loss is basically usually advised for obese people or people who will go undergo surgery, so it decreases the load on the heart. And unintentional weight loss usually can be associated with the fact that your activity level has increased, but your diet stays the same. However, sometimes it could be a sign of something, some undergoing condition. And if this persists for a long period of time, definitely time to visit the doctor and investigate. So also we have rapid versus gradual weight loss. Again, this is something I'm going to be focusing tonight. And it's primarily going to be in the forms of crash diets, some other diets, and also sustainable diet, which I'm going to teach you tonight how to do it. So what are the health benefits of losing weight? One of them are improved cardiovascular health. Your heart basically has to work less hard, doesn't have to pump as much blood because your body is reducing. And also, it will be easier on the heart when you're going to be resting. So just overall cardiovascular health is going to improve even if you're not going to be exercising. Then better blood sugar control. Basically, your cell's going to be susceptible to insulin, so you're going to be normally deposing glycogen in your liver and your muscles. Also reduces risk of joint pain, which is pretty obvious because the more weight we carry in us, the more uh, the more kind of pressure on the joints, especially ankles. And improve mobility and physical function, just less weight. It's going to be much more enjoyable to exercise or move the body, and you're going to feel much lighter. So we have two methods, unsustainable methods versus sustainable. Unsustainable, usually people kind of resort to extremely low calories. We're talking about like a lot of salad, water, maybe some smoothies. People completely neglect protein, which is extremely important for retaining muscle tissue. Long cardio sessions, no strength training, just because people don't have energy. And Fatigue builds up pretty quickly on crash diets or extremely low calorie diets. The whole process is just becomes like a torture. And adherence, obviously, for obvious reasons, is very low because actually no one can be successful in a crash diet. Um, so, um, when it comes to sustainable diet, we're talking about slight calorie deficit, about 200 to 500 calories lower than your maintenance, strength training for retaining lean body mass and especially muscle mass, high protein diet, and I'll talk more on it later in the deck. And you will see progress because every single week you're going to be losing I would say in a couple of first weeks, you're going to be losing about 1 pound if your calorie deficit is 500 per day. Uh, and it will be motivating you to keep going. And you're actually going to be feeling okay, but obviously fatigue is going to build up over time, but we'll talk about it later as well. So, role of strength training in weight loss. So, why do we need it? It helps to preserve muscle tissue, basically just signaling to your brain that the muscle tissue is important because it carries weight and it gets through the strenuous exercise. So, it's important to keep it. Your body basically taps less into your muscle and taps more into your fat when you're actually losing weight. It suppresses appetite because it works as a regulator for hunger hormones such as ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin usually induces hunger, and leptin signals to the brain that it's satiated. So less ghrelin, more leptin as a result of strength training. Reduce stress and anxiety, better sleep, and helps to make better dietary choices because obviously if you're pushing hard at the gym, you need to make sure that you have enough energy. That means that you're eating your carbs and you also eat plenty of protein to uh, to basically accommodate MPS, which is muscle protein synthesis, and also accommodate the breakdown of the muscle, which is naturally happening when you're on a caloric deficit. Uh, let's talk about common myths about weight loss. So you need to starve yourself. That's kind of like the first thing people think, and it cannot be further from the truth. It's the most inefficient way to diet. So first of all, it taps a lot into your lean body mass, which in result reduces your basal metabolic rate. So that means that calories you need to sustain your body at rest reduce. There are also going to be other metabolic adaptations by your body when you on an extremely low calorie deficit, and it's going to be reducing NEAT, which stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and that's basically fidgeting or standing, scratching, stuff like that. You're also gonna end up Skinny fat, basically, yes, your overall weight is going to reduce. However, you will still appear like you have a lot of fat deposits. So it's just not going to be the look you were after in the end of the your diet. And obviously, you can't sustain this diet. Usually, people go on these diets for like 1 or 2 weeks. And after that, they just come off of it and they rapidly regain weight because they're extremely fatigued and they are starved and they just can't wait to just get back and eat normally. Um, Supplements which will boost your metabolism. Yes, there are some supplements which can help with weight reduction and boost your metabolism a little bit, but it's not going to be extremely significant. So you still need to do energy balance if you want to sustainably lose weight. But anyway, like I just want to explain the psychology behind this mechanism. So obviously, like we all have stresses, we all have jobs, and we all have myriad of problems to worry about. And when we're facing a new problem, we obviously want a quick fix because we just don't have time to investigate that problem and look into this. So people get susceptible to messages like, "Oh, this pill is gonna like help to reduce weight, improve your metabolism, and blah blah blah." Also, people who've been dieting in the past, they get so familiarized with failure that it just becomes they believe that they just can't do it. And sometimes it works like to uh, kind of take away personal responsibility, kind of like I'll take the pill, and if it's not going to work, it's not on me. And people are already kind of ready for the failure. Also, unrealistic expectations. Obviously, it's marketing from the company selling these drugs. However, people get disillusioned pretty quickly. And it's usually going to be all these supplements will be absolutely demanding you to be on a low calorie deficit because that's exactly what will get you decrease your weight, not the actual supplementation. And there's lack of scientific evidence of effectiveness. So another one, which especially prominent amongst LGBTQ plus, such as myself, carbs make you fat. So carbs do not make you fat. Carbs actually is an energy source. When you consume your carbs, they get stored in the liver and in your muscles, and it serves as a primary energy source for your muscles, for quick bouts and forceful bouts of activity, such as sprinting. And also, your brain prefers glycogen over any other over any other energy source. And also for the guys, it makes your muscles look fuller because glycogen gets stored in muscles, so increase the muscle size, and yeah, you appear buffer than you actually are. Uh, so I just pause here. Like, does anyone have any questions? Is anything unclear? If you can raise a hand. If not, I'll move on. Okay, seems like everything is clear so far. Good. Okay, so all calories are equal. Uh, yes, to the point, like if we're talking like from the energy perspective, yes. However, if we're talking about from human perspective and diet perspective, it's quite a false statement. The reason why is because there are two types of food, energy-dense foods and nutrient-dense foods. The main difference between these two types of food is that energy-dense foods usually is represented in a lower volume. It's a small volume, but it's high in calories and it's very poor on nutrients. So what it does, it basically spikes your blood sugar, you feel satiated for about 20 minutes and then it plummets right down. Uh, it like, and for instance, like one donut. So say you are on a 2,000 calorie deficit. So that's your like entire calorie allowance for the day, and you're on deficit. And you ate just one donut, and it's gonna be 400 calories. And so like you only got 1,600 left. So it's almost like a bank account and just not efficient way to spend your calories on such foods, especially when you're on deficit. So nutrient-dense foods, on the other hand, is very voluminous. So there's a lot of food you can eat, but in terms of calories, it's not going to be as like I would say it's going to be much lower on calories. It will also have nutrients to nourish your body, so your body feel fuller, not just because it is a volume, but it's also like it gets everything it needs to function properly. So in the result, you're gonna feel better and more satiated, as opposed to if you were eating energy-dense foods. Um, so you can target fat loss in specific areas. Again, this is a false statement. It's impossible. The distribution of fat is even across your body. Sorry, it's not even across your body. Like it's stored in different places. Like for female, it's usually thighs and glutes. For male, it's usually abdominal. But we also get like otherwise evenly spread layer of fat across all our body. And yeah, depending on genetics, there are like, deviations, but more or less, so this is how it works. And when you lose weight, you actually lose weight everywhere. You do not lose like in specific places. Yes, you absolutely can target by strength training some particular parts of your body, but it's not going to help you to burn more fat out of that specific area, but it will help you to kind of build more muscle and develop that part of your body a bit more than the rest of your body, if that makes sense. Fat-free means low calorie. So that's another false statement by food companies where they try to trick people into believing that their product is actually low in calorie uh, by just saying that it's fat-free. Yes, obviously, like fat highly associated with the fact that it does make you fat. However, it's not the fat what makes you fat, it's the going in a surplus or like above your maintenance. That's what really makes you fat. And such claims take the guard away from people. So they kind of like, say, like an example, something fat-free can have a lot of refined sugar in it and be extremely calorie dense. Um, Again, that food will spike your blood sugar and will crush pretty quickly and will be again craving for more. And so when you read labels, especially like when you're on a deficit, I highly recommend just like checking like uh, what calories are per serving, what is like how much sugar, how much fat, how much like a protein obviously is a good thing. We need as much as we can get. Yeah, and always keep energy balance in mind. Don't get distorted by just marketing claims in order for the product to be sold. So exercising is enough for weight loss. No, it's not. So exercise on average spends about 200 to 400 calories per session. Yes, seems like a lot. It's almost like, a donut, which I mentioned before. Uh, However, it's not going to be enough if you're going to be constantly overeating, because sometimes people assume, oh, I'm like, I work out, I can eat whatever I want. No, if you want a nice body, if you want lean, nice body with minimum fat, you would need to still diet and you need to watch your protein, carbs, fat. and make sure that you're not going above your calorie allowance per day. And you know, the saying you can't outrun a bad diet is pretty accurate here. Uh, but obviously, you know, it helps to build muscle. It will increase your BMR. It's part of the solution, but it's not the solution. Okay, so thinking that liquid doesn't have calories. I think generally people aware about alcohol containing empty calories and 7 calories per 1 milliliter of actual alcohol is a lot. And I feel like people are mindful these days, at least like when I speak to my clients, everyone does agree that you know they want to reduce their drinking because it does contribute to their overall calorie intake. However, there are other dangers when it comes to your lattes, like frappes or stuff like that. So your the most basic latte can be from 50 to 400 calories, depending on the size and choice of milk. But also, if you add some whipped cream on top or some syrup, that's gonna some drinks can go up to 800 calories just per one drink. So imagine if you're on 2,000 calories a day, you had one drink, you only 1,200 calories left. It's not an efficient way to spend your calories. So yeah, just keep that in mind that you need to log in your liquid as well. So, why dieting can make you even more fat? Yeah, that's the most confusing part. It's like, how come it is possible? And you're about to find out. So, temporary diets is the first thing. Uh, Path to failure, no one succeed in them ever. Fast weight regain, people cannot stay on these diets for long. Uh, it constantly reinstating negative beliefs about weight loss, making people feel that they just basically cannot lose weight, something is wrong with them, when there's nothing wrong with them, it's the approach which is wrong. Viewing the process as a necessary evil, and I understand completely. It's terrible to feel fatigued, irritated, to be on very low calories, eating unpleasant foods, and just hate the whole process. And people usually cannot wait to stop doing it. And usually it's derived from lack of understanding how weight loss works and how to optimize your diet. So, decreased metabolic rate. So, whenever you on board on a diet, you have to be acutely aware that your calories, which are set right now, are not forever. Your body eventually is gonna decrease your metabolic rate, which means that it's usually happening because you reduce your lean body mass. Also, your body will start to decrease your NEAT, which I mentioned before. There's such a thing like TEF, which stands for thermogenic effect of food, which is what your body does in order to break down the food. Uh, so your body basically spends energy to acquire energy from food. And your body becomes more efficient doing that and requires less energy. So your overall calories to sustain yourself are going to go down. So basically, say if you're on a crash diet, you started from 1,000 calories, and then in a week you have to go. You notice that you're not losing weight anymore, and that became your new maintenance, and you have to go lower in order to lose even more weight, and that's just not sustainable. uh, uh, yeah, so that's kind of it on this slide. And then a loss of muscle mass. Yeah, I touched on it briefly. Basically, extreme low diet, calorie diets gonna tap a lot more onto your muscle mass. Uh, uh, if you were to eat more protein and do strength training. Because usually people on low calorie diets, they just can't do strength training. They just don't have energy, and they're probably going to hurt themselves doing strength training on a low calorie diet. So it's inevitable that people are going to lose a lot of muscle mass. That in return will decrease your calories even more. Uh, you're going to get skinny fat, absolutely disappointing results, unmotivating. And again, on top of it, fatigue and being irritated makes it just absolutely unsustainable. So, and the most fun part about it is that rapid weight gain will increase your fat, the count of your fat cells. So how does it happen? It's called adipogenesis. Another name for this is hyperplasia. Basically means that once your currently existing fat cells getting saturated, because basically fat cells, they do not disappear, they just deflate and then they inflate again when you start eating more. And usually people like go, you know, usually people diet before like certain events like vacation, some like weddings or any other life events where there can be a lot of food. Now let's, for example, take vacation. You were dieting for 2 weeks, like on really low calories, decreased your weight, then and you were maybe doing some exercise, and then you went to the vacation, say beach vacation, no, almost no activity level, like laying down on the beach the whole day, your calories spike up because of the alcohol intake, more food, just kind of less care about what goes into your body. And that's like the worst scenario for going off the diet because you have very high chances to start for your body to start producing pre-adipocytes, basically premature fat cells, which have the full intention to become fully mature adipocytes, aka fat cells. So in the result, you end up with more fat cells, which will make your next diet even harsher than the previous one. So that's basically how you end up with more weight gained after the diet. And another thing is that it can also unevenly distribute across your body, so kind of like leading to some aesthetical issues. So, so this is basically a fun part, calorie deficit and how it fits in weight loss. So this is kind of like a solution. I know that like everything I mentioned before sounds pretty scary, so kind of bear with me. The fun part starts now. So energy balance, what it is. It's basically as simple as calories in versus calories out. If you eat calories, the same calories in as calories out, you're in maintenance. If your calories in are higher than your calories out, then you are in a surplus. So you're going to be gaining weight. If your calories in are lower and your calories out are higher, you're on a deficit, you're going to be losing weight. As simple as that. So BMR and TDEE. Again, I just briefly explain what that is. BMR stands for basal metabolic rate, how many calories your body needs to sustain itself. So say if you stayed awake for the whole day and your body requires like 1,500 calories for that, so you would burn that many calories just in one day doing nothing. And TDEE basically comprises from BMR, TEF, thermogenic effect on food, then NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, fidgeting, and scratching and stuff like that, and plus activity level. So once you calculated the whole thing, then you have to decide how many calories you want to put deficit in. So say like if you want to lose 1 pound of weight a week, you need to be on 500 calories deficit every single day. And that is pretty much a sustainable weight loss. It's going to be easier because you will still have plenty of calories play around. Even when your body, when your weight loss plateaus, you still have some room to decrease your calories. And yeah, it's just something people actually cannot hear. And usually, weight loss process lasts from like 2 to 3 months. Fatigue will be building up, and it's going to be like pretty noticeable on the third months. But first 2 months, they should be like fairly easy on usually fairly easy on people. So what happens in your body when you have energy deficit? Your body starts to tap into your fat deposits and muscles. How much muscle is going to burn it will depend on whether you do strength training and have enough protein in your diet. Fat gets primarily used as a source of energy for low impact exercise, such as walking. Also, you burn your fat at rest and when you sleep. So people are usually thinking that they need to be doing like HIIT and very like aerobically uh, intense exercises. It's not what is going to burn your fat. It's mostly going to be like taking your glycogen out of your muscles rather than fat. So yeah, try to stick to low impact exercise and plenty of rest and sleep. And in the end, your weight is going to decrease inevitably. And also caloric demand slowly decreases. So how to diet the right way? So literally the next section is going to be pretty much like math exercise, and we can do some stuff together for you just to gain more understanding. And I just want to like check on you guys if everything is clear, if you have any questions, so please raise your hand. If not, I'll carry on, and then like at the end, you will have opportunity to ask questions. Okay, good. So basically, how to create energy deficit. You need to use these formulas. So this one for men, this is for women, they're slightly different. Basically, this is going to calculate your maintenance calories. And off of the maintenance calories, you will need to multiply like your actually this one is incorrect. I need to like change that because actually no, I'm sorry. This is correct. You need to add TF, NEAT, and activity levels because this is only estimating BMR. And usually to do so, depending on how active the person is, we either multiply by 1.2 in the range from 1.2 to 1.9, sometimes above if we're talking about athletes. So say your BMR is 2000 and you multiply it by 1.5, so your additional calories are going to be 3000. So yeah, that's going to be your maintenance. And if you want to lose weight, you need to subtract 500 calories, and 2500 calories is going to be your deficit calories. And you're going to be losing 1 pound of weight in a couple of weeks. Every week for a couple of weeks. So evaluate your condition during calorie deficit. Weigh yourself once a day, every single day for a week, and moving forward. Sum up every weighing of the week, divide by 7, and that's going to be your average. The reason why you have to do it is because there's going to be a lot of fluctuation in your weight. Excuse me, I just need to grab some water. And say if your fluctuation quite significant and you happen to weigh yourself on that day, and sometimes it can appear that you're actually not losing weight if you compare with the previous with the previous week, which can be very misleading and frustrating and unmotivating. So definitely do averages and compare averages to averages. You also need to assess how you feel on your diet. If you start to get extremely fatigued, uh, you need to adjust your calories, probably like, take a little break, eat a little bit more calories just to kind of like help yourself to adjust and if necessary, kind of stop dieting and go onto reverse diet process, which I will talk later about. Yeah, but anyway, like you need to be really in tune how you feel, how exercising feel, and how's your mood and stuff like that. So because it can greatly impact you. Okay, so tracking and adjusting. Uh, Definitely the most sure way to know whether you are on the right track or not is to track your calories and your macros. Macros basically carbohydrates, your proteins, and your fats. So logging using any food log preferred by you. Just input everything you eat in grams, and it will tell you how many calories, how much protein, carbohydrates, and fat it has. And in like in conjunction with weighing yourself, you will be seeing like the relationship. So if you eat, say, like still 2000 calories, you gradually stopped losing weight and you like, aha, so I've been consistent. So it's not the diet. Diet is fine or calories are fine, but it's really my body adjustment which took place. So now these calories are my maintenance calories and I need to further decrease them if I want to keep losing weight. And the same principle, like if you want to keep losing another 1 pound of weight every single week, you need to decrease your calories by 500, but I wouldn't recommend it because it kind of gets to like a really low calorie deficit and it's not going to be sustainable. So some other ways needs to be looked at, maybe like some supplementation or kind of like ending the diet. Um, and just make sure you're on top of it, track weight, calories consistently. Okay, so macros. Well, macros are kind of like what comprises your calories. So we've got protein, which is the most important. And on a calorie deficit, you need to up your intake of protein. So it's in the range between 2 grams to 3 grams per kilogram of lean mass. And say like let's do like a simple mass. If you are 80 kilograms person with 80 lean body mass person, you just multiply, say, 2.5. Let's just pick mid-range. 80 multiplied by 2.5, you get 200 grams of protein. And say your calorie deficit is your calorie allowance for the deficit is 2,500 calories. And what you do first is you multiply 200 by 4, which is 4 calories per gram of protein. You get 800. Then you subtract 2,500. You subtract 800 from 2,500. You get 1,700. Then carbs and fat will have 60-40 ratios. That means like 1,700 multiplied by 0.6 is gonna give you 1,020 calories in carbs. You divide it by 4 because 4 calories per gram of carbs, you get 255 grams of carbs. And then your fat, again, you just multiply 1,700 by 0.4, you get 780. And 1 gram of fat contains 9 calories, so it's very energy dense. And You end up dividing 780 by 9, you get 76, approximately 76 grams of fat. So your diet should include 200 grams of protein, 255 grams of carbs, and 76 grams of fat every single day. And next one is what to expect. Weight loss mainly from fat deposits. If we're talking about ratio, you can expect that you will lose 80% of your weight from fat and 20% from muscle mass or lean body mass. So that will give you this like leaner look, which people usually go for when they embark on diets. Gradual decrease in weight week on week until you hit plateau, and just overall leaner appearance. So low intensity, so 10K steps. It's basically low intensity exercise, which I mentioned is great for the fat loss, increases calorie expenditure, and just another instrument in your toolbox, how to lose weight. It just helps you to further uh, ignite the fat loss. Rest and sleep, super important, burns fat, refreshes you, helps with the mental health, and especially in deficit, you need a lot of sleep, and that will definitely help you to get through the diet. So, why reverse dieting is a thing? And first, I obviously will explain what reverse dieting is. Probably most of you are unfamiliar, and let's dive in. So, what is reverse dieting? It's basically gradual increase of your calories post diet, and with the main goal to increase your maintenance calories. So we don't want you to stay, say, like if you've been dieting on 2,000 calories and they became your new maintenance, we don't want you to stay on this. We want you to like get to the level where you're gonna be comfortable staying in maintenance. Say like hopefully increasing it up to like 2,400. And actually, on reverse dieting, people show still some weight loss. However, the main goal is to sustain the same weight or slight increases of it. However, increasing your caloric allowance per day. And helps to diet on more calories in the future. So why do you need to do it? Basically, helps to increase your BMR and TDE, increase maintenance calories, prevents weight regain, as I mentioned, like new fat cells and replenishing your fat stores, and limits chances of acquiring new adipocytes, which are fat cells. And how to do it. So each week, you basically need to add 2 to 5% out of your total calorie intake for minimal weight gain. You also can do 5 to 8% if you don't mind slightly more of a weight gain. And if you been on like you've been exhausted by the diet, you obviously are looking at going above 8%, which is aggressive and is not recommended. There are high chances that you will probably acquire new fat cells by going that aggressively. And ideal weight gain week on week is about 0.2% to 0.5% of your total weight, current total weight. So yeah. And how to stay lean year round. Trust me, it's possible. I'm doing it. So, and my client's doing it too. Maintenance. So once you're done dieting, you're happy with the way you look, it's time to maintain. Usually maintenance starts as another phase past the reverse dieting. And it basically means that your calories in equal your calories out. So you stay exactly the same. For men, lean body mass starts, leanness starts from 12% of body fat. For women, it's about 20% body fat. You need to keep doing strength training, walk 10,000 steps every day, still eat your protein. However, demands on protein are lower because there's no as much breakdown of the muscle tissue because you're on maintenance. So your body doesn't have to tap into different energy sources rather than the ones which it gets from the outside. So approximately 1.6 to 1.8 grams per kilogram is going to be totally enough to maintain and actually build muscle if you want to. So strength training, again, extremely important, promotes muscle mass strength and growth, as well as maintenance. It regulates appetite. Again, what I mentioned about hormones ghrelin and leptin, which help to regulate the hunger and the satiety signaling. EPOC, excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. So basically that stands for repairing your muscle tissue, which you damaged throughout the exercise, replenishes oxygen in your blood, it regulates the temperature. So there's a lot of processes and clearing out metabolic kind of fallouts from exercising. So there's a lot of work your body doing, and it increases the expenditure of calories. And just helps to create healthier habits. Again, like you will be better sleeping, you'll be watching what you're eating, less alcohol, because you know you can't push as much if you're drinking alcohol as heavy. So yeah, it just overall creates healthier habits. So 25, 50, 25, that's basically stands for protein, carbs, and fat respectively. Means 25% of protein, 50% of carbs, and 25% of fat out of your caloric allowance for the day. And yeah, if you adhere to that, it's going to be perfect for the maintenance. Then 70/30, basically to make your life a little bit more enjoyable, suggestion is to eat 70% whole foods out of your total calorie allowance and either minimally processed food or minimum of high processed food, like is going to take 30%. It can go even like 80/20. It just depends like how much you want to enjoy your life. And again, it helps you to enjoy your life. It helps you to make sustainable habits and kind of like you're still doing good thing for your body, but you also get some enjoyment out of food. So if you overeat or overindulge once, don't panic. It's okay. There are multiple ways of dealing with that. First way, done, forget about it. Don't feel bad. It doesn't help anyone. If you extremely obsessed about the idea that you overate, you can basically calculate how many calories you overate and subtract these calories from next 7 days of your maintenance or caloric deficit, whatever. So you still kind of like on average, you still where you need to be. Anyway, if that happened, it's not a problem. Just get back on track. Don't let it let you down. Don't overthink it. So in conclusion, unfortunately, a lot of myths still persistent. There's a lot of misconception. Unfortunately, internet is obviously like a curse and a blessing at the same time, because a lot of people can express their opinions, which are not scientifically proven, kind of biased claims from like relatives. And when someone says, "Oh, my aunt embarked on this diet, she lost ton of weight," it's absolutely not telling us anything. We don't know how much she lost. We don't even know whether she really lost. So it's very like subjective as well. People also try to sell certain diets. So there are some personal agendas. So sometimes people like purposely misleading audience. And sometimes people really come from the best place, but they just don't know well. And also like studies can be misinterpreted by some food companies or supplementation companies to again fit their agenda. And weight loss has to be sustainable. It will make you adhere to it, like hopefully for the rest of your life. Life will be more enjoyable if it's sustainable. Body nourishment, obviously, and better overall results. And then yo-yo dieting doesn't work. Please let it settle. Um, Physically and emotionally exhausting, leads to potential uh, like weight gain and increase in fat cells, muscle loss, overall just a bad look, and fast weight regain. So not worth it at all. And again, makes you feel like a failure. And so that's it. I also just want to say it's a lifestyle, not a diet. Yeah, word diet usually have a very negative connotation. But yeah, it's just a lifestyle. It's a change of habits and embarking on a new life, which is better for you. Okay, so uh, thank you so much for staying with me and listening to this. I hope it was helpful and you picked up some new information, and hopefully, like it makes a little bit more sense in your head what actually the weight loss is, how to do it right, and so uh, I'll give like 10 minutes for the questions. So if any questions. The floor is yours before you do so. Yeah, this is my contact details, website, email, and IG. It's just gonna stay here whilst you addressing, whilst I'm answering your questions. So please let me know if any questions. Oh,